How you doing, guys? I'm not sure if you can tell, but I got a new microphone, so let's see how this goes. Anyways, getting right into it. The energy source I chose was space-based solar power. Let's get right into it. So why did I choose it? I chose this one because it's in space. I know it's not the most imaginative reasoning as to why I chose it, but space to me is really interesting because obviously it's vast. There are many planets light years away from us, yet they are so far because we barely know enough about our own solar system right here in the Milky Way galaxy. So, anyways, getting back onto the type of solar energy that this entails. So, the way this works is that there are solar panels out in the space. They're out in orbit. These things act like giant mirrors, and they reflect all the solar rays that hit onto it. And all the solar rays that hit onto it eventually funnel into this one main satellite right here, and all the energy collected is then beamed down to Earth in a safe and controlled manner. Well, for the most part, as we're going to get into see later. So when do I expect this technology to be used? As of right now, we haven't been able to implement much of this satellite technology because I'll get into that later as well. Spoilers. But I believe if we keep this up, there's a lot of countries out there that are interested in this type of technology, such as the United States, China, United Kingdom. They all have their own space agencies that are dedicated to utilizing this idea in the future and in the coming years. And I believe that SpaceX is going to be the ones that find out how to use this technology more efficiently because SpaceX has 30 tons of satellites being made in 1 month's time, which is a bunch of satellites. So very impressive. Good for SpaceX. Some pros and cons for this. Some pros and cons for this are the pros would be that 40 times the energy is received from the solar based energy. There is no pollution going into air because this is obviously going on in space. There is no pollution to be like go into the atmosphere. And the biggest thing I would say that would be a pro is that there's continuous energy coming from the sun, since the sun has an infinite amount of energy to provide until one day inevitably it goes out. But for now, we can get all the energy from the sun without having to worry that much. The cons I would say, however, are that the demand of money to make these solar satellites are very expensive. They range from the millions. That's just too much money for our department. The next one I would say was space debris, which I will get into shortly. And the next one I would say is I can't see that real quick. Pardon me. Costly repairs. To repair these satellites, it's just to make these satellites is one thing, but to repair them, it's a whole nother ball game. So it would be just as hard to repair these if something were to happen. And speaking of space debris, that is what I believe would be the biggest setback for this type of energy source because, as reported by NASA, there are 27,000 pieces of space junk that are orbiting out in the out in space, orbiting our planet. And if one of these space pieces of space junk or space debris, if you like, are to hit these satellites, then we'd have to go up there and repair them. And as I said before, repairing these satellites costs millions, so it's not ideal to have these satellites out there when we know they can get damaged pretty easily by the space debris. Here are my references, and thank you for listening. Have a good one.